and all I'm left with is a breeze.
Hello and welcome to the Cigar Area. I'm Mike Simmons, and Daniel Marshall is a gentleman who makes exquisite humidors. His pieces have been bought by presidents, celebrities, museums, designers. He's done work for Dunhill and Pierre Cardin and countless number of pieces, not just humidors, but clocks and other pieces of wooden art. Celebrities. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a huge customer of his. Sylvester Stallone, Brad Pitt, Al Pacino. Just about any luminary of this day and age who is a cigar smoker has contracted Daniel Marshall to build a humidor for them. He's been doing this for over 30 years now. Started in the 1980s. But in the 1990s, he also started to produce cigars. He, right now, I think, if I'm correct, he has 4 blends out. Red label, black label, white label, and a gold cigar that is actually wrapped in gold leaf. Quite incredible. You can actually just light it, cut it, light it, smoke it. Smoke the gold leaf, burns right along with the cigar, leaves you a gold filled ash. It's pretty clever, incredible thing, but that is not what I'm smoking here tonight. They are $250 a piece, slightly over my single cigar budget. What I am going to smoke tonight is the Red Label by Daniel Marshall. This is a Nicaraguan Puro. It is absolutely gorgeous. This is the 6x60 Gordo. Quite large, thick, weighs about 16 pounds, and it has a Nicaraguan Habano Colorado wrapper. The Colorado meaning it's a reddish brown hue, which you can see here. There are practically no veins in the cigar, and the seams are pretty much invisible. It's just amazingly beautiful. Has a binder from Esteli, I believe, and the fillers are from Jalapa, if I have that correct. These are made at the Nestor Plasencia factory, Nicaragua. The black label, the white label are Dominicans, and they are made in the factory where Manuel Quesada makes his cigars. And Daniel Marshall has had a relationship with these 2 gentlemen for some time now. The gold one, I'm not quite sure. I have to read up on that a little bit. I'm not quite sure where that one's made. However, if you have a few minutes, go to Daniel Marshall's website, danielmarshall.com. Incredible. Read the About page, and you can see his extremely long and impressive list of clients and the projects he's done, and just how he's progressed through the years with the humidors and the other things he makes, and cigars as well. It's very interesting, and you get a good description of each of the cigars on that website as well. This guy I got from cigar.com, not cigars.com, cigar singular.com. which is the notch up echelon of Cigars International. And I believe Cigars International has these also, but I don't think you can get singles there. This was like $8.60 or something like that. They have several sizes. There's a Churchill, there's Panatella, there's Lancero, the Gordo. There is a Corona, I believe. There might be one other size too. But they're all around high 7 something to 8 something a piece if you want to buy singles. I think I got the Lancero, I think is the other size I picked up. I got 2 to treat myself for holidays, so I figured this is the first time I smoked one of these. Been looking forward to it for a while. And the whole reason this all came about was because when I went on Cigar Aficionado to look at the top 25 picks for 2016, I was looking, where going to different sites and seeing where I could pick up as many of them as possible, because that's just something I do. I'm sure a lot of cigar buyers do that, because when you go to a lot of these websites, a lot of these cigars are out of stock. And but anyway, when I went to cigar.com, they had a little pop-up ad on there for a contest to win a Daniel Marshall chest humidor. It's beautiful, and it's filled with these Daniel Marshall red cigars. It's like a $2,000 value. I think the humidor is like $900. It's like $1,000 for the humidor, and it's filled with cigars. Now his humidors mostly hold. They start at like, I think the smallest one, except for like a little travel job. I think the smaller ones are like hold like 75. They hold like anywhere from 75 to like 200 cigars. So they're pretty sizable. But anyway, it was the last day of this contest. So I put my email in there and entered the contest. And I figured, you know what? If they're advertising them on here for this contest, they probably sell the cigars. So I looked and I found these. So, long story short, here we go. Daniel Marshall, red label. Let's get started. My new cutter from my buddy Jim. I see you. Very cool. I'm not used to it though. I'm used to the 2-finger guillotine job I've been using for a while, so I have to be careful here. Yeah, beautiful. Nice. Alright, so I rambled on there for about 20 minutes. You're either asleep or you left to look at something else probably by now. Hopefully you come back and fast forward through and actually see how this turns out, because I'm pretty excited to see how it turns out myself. I'm very excited about smoking one of these for a while. I always thought, because the humidors are so expensive, I never even bothered to look up the cigars. I thought they'd be like excruciatingly high priced, but they're not. His whole deal is to try to make a quality smoke at an affordable price. And based on the ingredients and how almost every one of these was sold out, must be pretty good. Ooh. Blast of rich, sweet, sort of nutty flavor on the first puff there. Very nice. I love that aromatic sweetness. I'm not sure if it comes from the wrapper or if it's one of the filler leaves. It's reminiscent of, I smoke a lot of Caldwell cigars. They have that same kind of, that's the reason I like them. They have that same sweetness. It's very rich, earthy kind of a sweet undertone. I love that flavor. Have some earthiness, some sweetness, a little bit of nutty flavor. Have a very light cinnamon type of baking spice on the tail end there. Nice. Yeah, definitely a cinnamon on the finish. There's even a little bit of a cinnamon kind of floating through with that sweetness on the draw. Has a fairly easy draw, not too easy, which is good. Like I said, it has a lot of weight to it, and it feels like it's pretty well rolled. There's a little soft spot there I'm a little concerned about, but other than that, that's about the only one. There's one little soft spot there, so we'll see what happens when we get to that point. But it's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Sweet, earthy, a little bit of cinnamon spice on the finish for the start. Daniel Marshall Red. Gonna hit the first third. Be back shortly. Welcome back to the cigar area with the Daniel Marshall Red Label. It's a tasty cigar. I got about 3/4 of an inch of ash on there. It's a nice gray and white. A little bit of wave to the burn there, but nothing bad. I would have had more ash than this on, but I bumped it. It was about 1/4 of an inch on there when I went to pick it up. I bumped it on the edge of the ashtray and it knocked it off. So now that's saying that if it would have held on, it's a little bit soft at the tip there. So I have a feeling it's probably good for about an inch, and then it will probably fall off. These cigars, I wanted to mention this earlier. The tobaccos that they use for these are already aged 5 years before production. And then once the cigars are rolled and boxed, they are stored for another full year at least before they're released. So there's a good amount of aging or resting involved in these. And you can taste it in the quality. It's just a very rich quality tasting smoke. Flavors had a bit of a continuation from those first couple puffs. That sweetness, like a dark honey molasses type sweetness underlying. Has that cinnamon note on and off through there, and then it still has a cinnamon touch on the finish. But it has a nutty quality to it, and as I've gotten up toward the an inch or so in here, pardon me, I'm getting some dry cocoa flavor coming in there too. So it's starting to take on a little bit of chocolatey flavor, nutty, rich, little earthy, cinnamon, and sweet. This is a medium to upper range medium, maybe, as far as strength goes. Uh, it's not a ultra spicy cigar. There are no Ligeros in here. It's not a peppery Nicaraguan, but it does have a lot of the other characteristics of Nicaraguan tobacco. That sweetness, that earthy, little bit of baking spice flavor, and the chocolatey flavor that's started to show up a bit. Yeah, the chocolate cocoa seems to be getting more pronounced as I get further in. I've already been smoking this for a half hour, so I've kind of been taking it easy. I'm wrapping Christmas presents in between here, multitasking, and I've been wrapping Christmas presents for my wife for 30 years. 28 of those years we've been married. 2 years before we got married. I'm pretty good at wrapping gifts, but it's funny how sometimes you get what you pay for when it comes to wrapping paper. Okay, go to the dollar store, get lots of neat Star Wars and Batman paper and stuff I like to use, the fun holiday stuff. $1 a roll. It's very delicate, very thin, very. When you take the scissors, and you're really good at, you lay the paper out and you have your line there and you get the scissors and you get that streak going where you just zip right across there like it's a razor. Yeah. Trust me, when you use dollar store paper, that technique doesn't always work. You get about halfway across and all of a sudden, so I've been fighting off the temporary frustration here and enjoying the cigar while doing this. But I only have 2 more boxes to wrap and I'm finished. So I'm going to do that while I enjoy the second portion of the cigar. I'm sorry, I really digressed here today. But I am enjoying this quite a bit, and quite tasty. So right now we're looking at chocolate, cocoa, not chocolate, milk chocolate, it's more like a dry cocoa flavor, nutty, some cinnamon in there, that sweet kind of molasses, kind of sweetness that I like in a good rich cigar like this. Makes it very pleasant. So I'm gonna hit the second portion, see what develops. I'll be back shortly, and I'll be finished my wrapping by the time I see you again. Look, Batman, I've been eyeing up this cigar for a while. Sorry, it's mine. Welcome back to the cigar area with the Daniel Marshall Red. Batman has been eyeing up my cigar. Just wanted to show this to you. I've put these up before. Some original artworks from my West Coast brother, Julian Ochoa. He did these for me, this Batman. It's absolutely awesome. And he did this Wolverine for my wife. He has a really unique painting style. Right now he's doing some film work out on the left coast with the the original stars and crew of Scarface, and he's an incredible guy. He's just I love him to death. And I have these pictures up here, and every time I come up here I just love them. I love them. They're some of my prized possessions. And if you're interested in having Julian do a picture for you, do a painting, superheroes, he's great. He's great at it. He can paint anything. But just send me a email at the cigar area at gmail.com, the cigar area at gmail.com, and I can put you in touch with Julian. Great guy, great painter. And Batman has been eyeing up the cigar because it was given a 90 rating by Cigar Aficionado and a 91 by Cigar Journal, and for good reason. Very, very tasty. Still have a little wavy burn there. It's not took a little bit of a dip there. That soft spot I was worried about, that's when it happened. Kind of took a dive there. I haven't done anything to it though. I'm hoping it straightens out. The second portion is a bit spicier than the first though. The other flavors, pretty much all still there. That sweet earthiness, nuttiness, cocoa undertones in there, the cinnamon, but there's a touch of black pepper on the finish now. Kicked it up a bit, about a notch in strength, but it's not overpowering, still medium. Maybe a higher range medium at this point. But I like that. I like spicy, strong cigars. So I like that black pepper flavor creeping in there a little bit. This thing is, it's very, it's a full-bodied flavor with a medium strength. It's very well balanced. And it's very pleasant to smoke. It's very rich, very satisfying flavors. If you saw my last video for the Cayena Merengue, that was a 60 gauge also. And I mentioned in that video that I shy away from 60s in a lot of cigars because they sometimes develop burn problems. That Cayena was practically perfect the whole way through. This seems like it's actually straightening out a little bit as I flap my jaws here, but I bought this in two different sizes to specifically compare the fat ring gauge with the Lancero, which is 40 something, I think. I don't remember offhand what it is. But the ash, as I said, fell off after about a clean inch, and I can see this one's probably going to do the same thing in a few minutes. But as I said, still has in the second portion here, still has the same flavors as in the first, but The finish kicked up a notch a bit with a black pepper flavor. It's very nice. Smooth. Lots of good smoke. Nice. Finished my Christmas wrapping during the break there. I'm all done. Raise your hand if you get annoyed when you find wrapping paper that doesn't have that nice graph paper look on the back side of it. The past few years, almost all wrapping paper, you flip it over, it has a nice graph paper look to it, so you can cut right along the lines. Well, the last roll I picked up did not have that. And it's also quite thin. So my zip across the line, that style didn't work. So had some cutting problems with that last one, but that was my last package and I'm done. I saw some hands go up there. That graph paper feature's a nice thing on wrapping paper. Whoever thought that up deserves a pat on the back. But anyway, gonna work into the final third here with the Daniel Marshall Red Label Nicaraguan Puro. Be back in a minute. Alright, welcome back to the cigar area with the Daniel Marshall Red Label. You can see that burn straightened itself out fairly well. There's still a little bit of a curve in it, but no big deal. The ashes held on for about an inch and then it just falls clean off. This final third kind of reverted back to the flavors of the first third, only more pronounced. It's not necessarily stronger, but that cocoa chocolatey flavor, that went away. The that nutty flavor turned into more of a nutmeg as opposed to the cinnamon. But that sweetness is still there. Still very rich and earthy. Has those Nicaraguan tendencies, that earthy, rich sweetness. The nutmeg, the black pepper on the finish, about the same as it was in the second portion. So it's just more pronounced in the flavors, not really stronger as far as the strength of the cigar. Just a fuller bodied flavor as we went along here. I'm going to take this band off now. Okay. Basically has the DM signature initials in the center there, and it says Daniel Marshall. That's pretty much it. Red and gold, simple but elegant band. This is an elegant cigar. It's a good word to describe it. Elegant. Nice medium body, medium strength, a little bit fuller body toward the end. Nice after dinner cigar. Of course, I'm having coffee with mine. Probably would be good with a nice bourbon or a whiskey of some sort. Not, to my taste buds, not the most diverse flavor profile, but reminiscent of Nicaraguan tobaccos, minus the Lajero. Not a real strong pepper to it. Sweet, earthy, some baking spice in there, a little nuttiness, a little chocolate. Very nice. I said this was about $8.60 for this. So, you know, for $8.50, this is a good cigar to spend the evening with. I've been smoking this for an hour and 25 minutes, and I still have a good inch probably to go, because it hasn't gotten bitter or strong or hot to warrant, putting it down. But I think we've experienced all the changes we're going to get here. So all in all, like I said, a little bit of a wavy burn, but not bad. It's a good cigar. I'd say probably a 9 out of 10 in my book. Maybe even a 10 if I was looking for something medium body. Good flavors all the way through, not disappointing. No heat, didn't have to touch it up. No resins coming through, no residue. Very well made. A lot of tobacco in there. Good long smoke. Good cigar. Now I know, like I said, you can get, I think, 5 packs at Cigars International. Cigar.com has 5 packs boxes and singles in all the sizes. And for what I paid for this, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to look around to see if I can find the others, the black and the white label. Don't think I'll be smoking that gold wrapped one anytime soon, but I can probably afford the black and the white if I can find them. So if I can find them, you'll probably be seeing them come up on a review. I was looking at Instagram earlier on the Daniel Marshall's Instagram. It's Steve Harvey, the TV host, comedian, entertainer, got a personalized humidor, and inside were some of those gold. They come in a little cedar coffin. He took the lid off and pops out this golden cigar. Just incredible. But he makes a couple more dollars an hour than I do, so he can afford it. But I could afford entering that contest. So that contest is over, but keep your eyes open. I would imagine in 2017 there's going to be at least one more contest from Daniel Marshall, and believe me, it's well worth your while to enter it, to take a chance at winning one of those humidors, especially if it's loaded with these, because I'm hoping I win. So anyway, I'm really kind of drifting off here. Daniel Marshall, Red Label, good cigar. I recommend it. If you like a medium cigar, very rich and tasty, good for after dinner, good with a drink. Check it out. So till next time, I'm Mike Simmons. This is the Cigar Area, and I'm going to be as politically correct as I can here and say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, Happy Holidays, and happy smoking.
Darker fish cleave, creamy seas, and all I'm left with is a breeze. Doesn't even reach my knees. There's too much in this world for free.